Here are 3 red flags for you to avoid when buying your first investment deal. First, let's start with contractors. Now, everyone knows contractors are the ones that are going to be managing your project, or at least taking care of all of the work that you need to do in your property. The reason why I bring up contractors for red flags is because something that I hear about so many times is people saying how much money they've lost because of a contractor. I've heard someone say, I've lost $10,000. I've lost $20,000. Sometimes it's even smaller amounts. I've lost $5,000. Now, the reason why I bring it up is because the reason why people lose their money is because they give a payment to the contractor up front. Now, some people might be wondering, well, how else are you going to pay them? Well, typically what a contractor will do, he'll say to you that 50% is for your material cost and it's for the labor to get started. And then he's going to look for a balance afterwards. Now, the reason why it's incredibly important to not give them that 50% money up front is because if you cover that money yourself and you pay for those materials, you actually won't need to pay them the 50%. Well, here's my hack so that you don't have to pay them 50% upfront. Instead of what you're going to do is ask them, please give me a material list of all the things that you're going to buy. What you're going to do now is take that material list and go to the same stores that contractor is going to go to, right? Some contractor can be like, well, I'm still going to need my money up front because I got to pay guys. That's where you're like, sorry, can't do it for you. And the reason why I like doing it this way is this is a way to protect yourself. What always ends up happening, right? The contractor finds out that you pay for the materials themselves. Now they can't take your money and go use it on another job, because that's actually what ends up happening, right? You pay them the money up front, and typically the reason why you lose it is because these guys are backtracking from other projects that they've been covering for the last couple months or weeks, and they need to use that money to help offset that project. What ends up happening at some point, not always, but does happen, they're trying to get caught up. But you know, something to remember with a lot of these contractors, they're not business people, right? They're guys who know how to work with their hands, and they've made money because they're incredibly good at working with their hands. But not being business people, they don't know how to manage their cash, and they don't know how to manage the business aspect of them doing contract work. So all that money goes to the last job. They finish up that last job, and now it's time to do your job, and they've got no money. Well, if you know that you're covering the material list and they're not getting a dime off you until they do the work, well, now you've kind of put them in a box where they have to do the work in order to get anything. That's always my number one recommendation, because no matter what, even if they go through the work, let's say they get 50% of it done and you pay them for that 50%, and then all of a sudden they stop showing up, which I hear about all the time. What's great about that is that you don't have to worry about that contract anymore. You simply kick them off the job and you go find yourself a new contractor. And all the material that you bought is right there on the job site. So you're like, hey, new contractor, come on over. Here's the work that I need you to do, and here's all the materials to do it with. Incredibly powerful. It's just a very smart way for you to now not have to worry about putting all your money up front and then losing it in the end because you have someone who ended up running off with your dough. Okay, the next one I want to get into is not managing a budget and why this is a red flag. A lot of times you have rookie investors, they want to get into real estate deals and they want to do something that is going to make them a lot of money, like all of us, right? But what they end up doing, right, they go into it thinking like, oh, I'm going to paint this wall, I'm going to rip out this cabinet, and they don't really have a good idea of what it actually costs to paint that wall or to rip out the cabinet unless they're actually doing it themselves. So one thing that I always tell people is you want to make sure you write out the full scope of work of all the things that you want to do, and you want to have a budget that goes along with it. That budget is what you're going to use to stick really tight to, because that's what's actually going to help control your costs. Otherwise, you're going to continue to use the phrase, might as well, right? Might as well rip out this, might as well redo the tile, and all those might as wells cost you a lot of money. Okay, the next thing you guys want to make sure you don't get into, and is a big red flag, are excessive renovations. I'm someone who takes on really excessive renovations, and I'm telling you right now, it sucks. It's not something you want to get into because it is a massive headache. And if it is your first time you're looking for a property and you're looking to invest in it, the last thing you want to do is have a major headache on your hands, because the cost of it will explode, and you will also be in situations where it will be incredibly stressful and incredibly overwhelming. Even if you do have the money to actually do it, right? I think something that happens is anything in life, right? If you bite off more than you can chew and you really don't know what to do, you'll actually really start to regret the thing that you bought. Or you might be in a situation where you're like, you know, all my contractors bailed out on me. I now have spent more money than I thought I was going to spend, or the stress level is really high and I can't manage it because I also have a job and it's just a little bit too much. So something that you can do from the get-go is just not even get into something really excessive. Something that would be a lot more beneficial is to do one that's more cosmetic, right? If you find a property and let's say it just needs some new bathroom tile, or it could just use changing out a faucet and some updating some cabinets and maybe put some new floors down instead, or some paint. Those are the kind of properties that you actually want to look into getting into because you can buy them at a discount and you can put enough money into them and still make a nice return on the end. So if you guys are looking to continue to do more deals and gain your experience, avoid the costly headaches up front and save them for down the road when you have more experience, more time, more money, and you can actually get into them without worrying about you not being able to finish or cross the finish line. If you guys found this video informative, be sure to subscribe to the channel because that's a great way for me to help YouTube's algorithm so we can get more content pushed out to you. And be sure to like this video as well. As well as that, be sure to comment down below on any kind of real estate topic that you guys are interested in so I can make a video about it and go more in depth. Remember, this is your channel for all things design and real estate. So until next time, catch you on the next one.